Okay, so we're going to start installing the full system of the GarnCigarette. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to the GarnCigarette folder in your project's assets. Initially you will see there is a set of instructions. It's just pointing you on, guiding you on how to choose which system is right for you. There's V1 and V2. V1's one-handed only. V2 is the full system. The other video that I have uploaded on this asset is about the version 1 of the system. So if you're installing that, go watch the other video and you'll be sorted. There is then also a how to use in-game. Have a good read of it and it'll guide you through the different gestures to make things work. So first we'll get started on the physical installation and then we will do the FX layers and menu 3.0 stuff. So we'll head into the prefabs folder, the full system folder, and then here you will also see a full installation list of steps to do, problem solving, etc. This version is write defaults off. It can be set to write defaults on, but there are some minor issues regarding state retention, etc. So things might be a little bit wacky if you do that, but it will still work, kind of. Because it's write defaults off, you may end up having some facial animations getting stuck, etc. Due to the way that a lot of avatar creators make their facial animations work. To fix those, down the bottom of this you'll see a YouTube link that is Cam's tutorial on how to fix such issues should they arise. So we'll get started. We'll take the cigarette container.prefab and we'll just drag this onto our scene in the hierarchy, not onto the avatar itself. We can then drop it down, right click and unpack the prefab completely. Then we can take all of these objects here, we can select them all and drag them out so that if you close the cigarette container it will be at the same level. I'm then going to use these handles here and then click that box to put it into front facing orthographic view, just to make things a little bit easier. First we'll set up the right hand. So I will shift click these two and then I will drag them up. Actually, I caught myself before I made a mistake. You'll notice that this avatar is in A pose. It will make things a little bit wonky if you try to set up the system while your avatar is in A pose. If you have an A pose avatar, what you want to do to fix that is you will want to go to Pumpkin Tools, which is, if you have it already, Pumpkin Tools, Avatar Tools. You'll then drag your avatar into it and then you'll find reset pose, you'll drop this down, and you can select T pose. Easy peasy. So now I will grab the two right hand points, drop them up roughly by the right hand, get nice and close to them. Never mind, a bit too far. There we go. So I'll drag them more towards the middle so that the middle finger goes about there, the index finger can pull forward to about there. I'll also want to, I don't know why the avatar is disappearing. You want them to be roughly between the two sort of knuckle bones of the avatar. A little bit difficult to see, but not too difficult to sort of visualize. Getting a top-down view might make this a little bit easier. I'm then gonna go back to perspective view instead of isometric. And seeing as we've done the right hand and this avatar is centered on the global 0 origin position, which is right down there, what we can do is then take the sig right hand index F. We can go to its transform in the inspector, copy the component, and then go to the index finger for the left hand. We can go to its transform, click the 3 dots, paste component values. You'll notice that it has gone to the right hand, so to fix that, just make it negative. We'll do the exact same process for the middle finger, setting it to negative. Perfect. I'm going to go back into the isometric view, front facing, for the mouth positioning. So I'll just drag this up roughly to the mouth. Oh, always forget the isometrics are pain doing these sorts of things. Drag them forward a little bit, and then separate out into the top lip. You'll want it just sort of inside the top lip, and same goes for the bottom lip. You want it just sort of inside the bottom lip there. Brilliant. Now we'll drop down our armature. I've already extended mine where it needs to be extended. So the first step will be, actually I'll drop down the shoulders. The first step that we need to do is place the mouth ones onto the head bone. So you can just shift click the two of them, drop them onto the head. Done. The left shoulder, you'll want to go down to the second bone of your index finger and middle finger. And then you can grab the index, and then middle to the second middle. And then we can drop that down. We'll pull that back up. Then same for the right shoulder. You want to place it onto the second bone of your index and middle fingers. So we'll do that right now. Easy peasy. Then you can take your cigarette container and just drop it on the avatar. Then you can click 0 and it should all be good. To test, you can set the top two to 1, which will be your right hand, and all should be good. If there's any issues regarding its positioning, you can go back and tweak the positions of those constraints. Now, it's a little bit too big for my liking on this avatar, which will be made apparent if I change it to just the cigarette, just for demonstration purposes. It's a wee bit too big. So what I'll do is I will click on cigarette with holder, which is under cigarette container. I will press the R key to switch to scale, or click this button up here. I'll grab the center square and just drop it down a little bit. Looking a bit better. If I test it with the just cigarette blend shape, it won't be as far down when you're using, when the whole system is running. But there we go. That's about a decent size. I will switch back to the move tool just in case I have to move anything else. But I can pull up the armature and drop this away because that is the physical setup of this done. Now what you'll want to do is you want to go to AV3 Manager. So that'll be found under VR Labs and then Avatars 3.0 Manager. You will drag your avatar into the descriptor there. Then you'll go to your layers, your FX layer. It'll already have the controller in there, so click and add animator to merge. Then you can find the SIG-FX merge animator under the GarnCigarette prefabs full system. Just drop that bad boy on there and merge on current. And then make sure that all of these checkboxes are ticked so that they are synced. Then we can head over to the parameters tab. And you'll notice that they've shown up, but they don't have all of their states registered. So you'll take SIG parameters, drop that down there. It was already in there for me, and then click copy parameter values. You'll see that the states will show up. That is the first step to all of this. Next, you will want to go to your avatar, find its main menu, which for me is right here. You want to click add control. You can put this into any of your submenus if you want to, but I'm just doing the main menu just for ease of use. Just name it something like cigarette. Then if you look, you'll find SIG holder menu, just for a little menu icon. Change it to a submenu. No parameter needs to be set, and then you can go back to GarnCigarette prefabs full system, and you'll see SIG menus right there. Set that as the submenu. At this point, we can test how the system operates with the Viseme emulator. Before clicking play, what you will have done is tools, enable Avatars 3.0 emulator, then click play. I'll put it back to my scene, click on the model itself, and just to make things a little bit more visible, where have they hidden away? T-pose calibration. So we can toggle it on, change it to cigarette only, change it to the left hand or the mouth. All the different types work, and I will also quickly test the Visemes. So there's a few that have some kind of funky positions. For you, in your installation, it may end up in a completely different position to what you're wanting. So I will show you how to fix that in a second. But just quickly, I also want to test if the ring holder is in a decent position. It is slightly askew, so I will go ahead and show you how to fix that as well. So we'll drop it out of play mode. We will then click on our avatar, and up the very top you'll see animator controller. There's currently none, so you can head into the anims folder under full system, and you'll see cigarette full system. Click on the model again, drag and drop that onto the controller. Now in your animation tab, you should see all of the different animations within this system directly editable. So what we can do is, it was the ring holder that was having issues, so we'll first do ring holder left hand. We'll click preview just to see how it is off position. Get real nice and close, actually a little bit further back. Then I'll click record. What you want to do is, in your hierarchy, select cigarette with holder, and you'll want to manually reposition this whilst you are recording. This may take a little bit of tweaking just to get it right, but that is now looking like it's in a pretty decent position. So what I'll do is I'll stop the recording. I'll click this top keyframe, which will select everything, copy, go over to the next set of keyframes, and paste. I will then go to the sig ring holder smoking active left hand, bit of a mouthful. I will hit preview, still off, so immediately paste, and then over at the end you'll want to zoom in, because you'll notice that there are actually two sets of keyframes, and just paste these two onto both of them. We will repeat this process for the right hand as well. So we'll click preview, we notice that it's slightly off, make sure that we have cigarette with holder selected, click record, move it over, move it down, and that appears to be a little too far forward, a little too high up. Perfect. So we'll stop the recording, select all of the keyframes, copy, paste, and then we'll go over to the right hand smoking active, immediately paste. I'll click preview just to show. And you go into the last two, and there we go. Bob's your uncle. If you have any issues with the mouth movement, so when it's in your mouth it might be in a completely different spot, or specific Visemes might be in weird locations, what you want to do to fix that is you will want to, with the Viseme emulator running, you want to put it into play mode, select your avatar, put the cigarette in your mouth as cigarette only. Makes it a little bit easier when it's cigarette only. And then you'll notice that we have no animation clips. That is because the controller, when it's the Viseme emulator is running, gets removed. So we'll just go back in, drag and drop that on there. just while we're working on this. So by default, you'll want to have, we'll want to change the sigmm default first. I will go down. If this is in a where location, you want to go to the, or is it your head? And then you can tweak the, make sure it's recording first. Then take the sig mouth top lip and bottom lip, and you can tweak these two positions as required. I don't believe this one has any extra sets of keyframes, so you should be good. It appears as though the emulator has reset itself, so we'll put it back into the mouth. I won't bother. Yeah, well, setting it back to cigarette only. Now you'll notice that we are currently on the sil Viseme. So there is sigmm underscore sil. You want to preview this, and you're gonna have to do this for all of the different Visemes. I believe there's 14 or 15, and the exact same thing. Tweak whilst it's recording. Tweak sig mouth and top lip and bottom lip to what suits, what makes it work. You can pull them a little bit further forward if you need to. Just reposition them as needed, as desired. You won't want to do any rotation in these animations. You can do if you want to, just a little bit more work. Otherwise, you can just tweak the, when you're not recording and you're not in play mode, you can just tweak the rotation of these two themselves. I believe you want to tweak them around the, most people tweak them around the y-axis, but that's no biggie. So carrying on, I'll just give one more example. No point going through all of them. But then next up is the PP. You want to change out of that. Scroll back up, toggle the cigarette on, make sure it's in your mouth. That is, I don't know why it is doing that. Hold on. There you go. There you go. Let's just have a little bit of an issue. So it is a little bit too far into the mouth on this one. So I'll click record, and I'll actually just move both of these a little bit further forward. And yeah, just keep rinsing and repeating this process. It is a little bit arduous, I won't deny it. I don't know why it is freaking out, but it is what it is. There we go. Oh, I know what it is. So for the sil animation, sorry, you want to copy and paste it to the second keyframes. I forgot that the sigmm Viseme ones, the default one doesn't have any, but you want to copy the positions into it, and then it should no longer freak out and spasm all over the place. In case you made the exact same mistake as I did. The next one would be FF, and exact same thing. Set it to that, toggle it on, put it in your mouth. And so it's still up in the top lip a little bit. What you want to do is, yeah, take the bottom lip, pull it down a little bit. I don't know why it's decided to reset the Viseme, but that makes it, that's really annoying. Never mind that. You don't want the lame emulator. You just drop it down a little bit. You saw where it was, and to stop it vibrating, yeah, put in the second one. We've already done the rings, the ring holder fix. We've done the mouth movement fix. Alternatively, if you can't be bothered going through that whole process, what you can do is you can go to your avatar's FX layer, and you'll see sig mouth movement. If you don't want the mouth movement, can't be bothered going through the process, you can just straight up delete that whole layer, and that'll deal with it for you. You just won't have any mouth movement, but that's no biggie. At this point, I believe we can just do a final test run. Put it into the depots, cigarette toggle. It's at a decent position, at a decent size. Cigarette, ring holder, all works wonderfully. The act of smoking doesn't break anything. You can swap it to your left hand. If you swap it to your mouth, it'll just go back to the stick holder by default. The ring holder as well. Now, you'll notice that the particles, if you've scaled it down or scaled it up, the particles may be at an off scaling. So what we can do to fix that is we can go and select all of the, well, actually, just do them one by one, but where is it? The tip embers here. You want to find the start size, and you can just drop it down. I'll take this one down to about 7. There you go. A little bit smaller. It's just so it adds a little bit of a fake bloom effect. The falling embers, they should be fine. They're random, pretty small anyway. And the other thing is the smoke. Because none of these, unfortunately, get scaled when you scale the cigarette object itself. The smoke is seeming fine, but just for example's sake, yeah, you can just scale up the start size a little bit if you need to. Should even work if you just set it to 2, for example's sake. Yeah, easy peasy. So that is the full system. That's how it works. Don't forget before you upload to disable cigarette with holder. You don't need to disable the thrown cigarette butt at all. However, what you may need to do is, depending on how you've scaled your cigarette with holder, you may want to potentially scale the start size or the scale of the thrown cigarette butt. But honestly, for all intents and purposes, it'll be roughly the same size as the cigarette itself, and no one's going to notice a few pixels bigger or smaller. I believe that is the full system installed. So thank you very much, and yeah, have a good day.